You are 20% body fat because you've acquired the habits, the routine, and the mindset of someone that is 20% body fat. You became the man that is 20% body fat first, then you started to look like him second. Now, this works both ways. If you act in accordance with, and then again, the habits, the routine, and the mindset of someone that is an athlete or someone that has the physique that you desire, then through cause and effect, you're going to have that outcome. But let's establish what are those mindsets and habits that you've adopted that have got you to where you are now. Let's break them so you can essentially step over the crux line and move forward towards the physique that you desire. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this for our members, and then we just speak about them online. So let's crack straight into this. The first bad habit that you are doing is you allocate your energy, but you allocate it when you are at your weakest and most vulnerable point. So if you were wanting to become an athlete, but you know you work a busy job, but by the time that you finish that, training is not going to be the best, you're going to be fatigued, the chance of you actually going to the gym is diminished because you're fatigued and you're tired and you can't really be asked. So of course, you're not going to make any progress. You're not going to be able to stick to something long term. You must think, when would the athlete train if he had a busy day? He trained first thing in the morning when he's freshest, so he can strike, get the job done, and make it happen. The same way, like anything that you really don't want to do with your day, anything that's really not appealing for you, you need to do it when you have the most bandwidth mentally and willpower. When's that going to be? First thing in the morning, because you are not fatigued then, both from a mental and physical standpoint. So what's important is you sort out when you're training. If you want to be an athlete, you do it first thing in the morning. You do your training first thing in the morning. You can do steps and cardio after work because they take less effort, less brain power. But your gym session needs to be done first thing in the morning. Your routine, scripted, needs to be done first thing in the morning. Anything that's going to be a long lever towards this goal that's not you right now as a person needs to be done first thing in the morning. I can't stress this enough. Because otherwise, you've seen it. By the time the end of the day comes, you're too tired, you go down, you rest after work, and what happens? You lay on the couch, you might even fall asleep, and at that point it's too late to go to the gym, and you're just not going to get it done. And that might happen twice a week. That's enough for you to lose the consistency and think this just is too much of an uphill battle, but of course it is, because you're putting it at the point when your brain is just the least productive. The way I run my routine personally, I'll wake up and I'll film YouTube first, because it requires the most thought, the most brain power. I'll then do check-in second, then I'll go to the gym. Then after the gym, I know, because I've pushed it hard in the gym, my brain's pretty toast for a good 2 hours. That's when I'll walk. That's when I'll do my steps and low-level things, because I just know straight away after that, I'm not as cognitively effective. So if I was to try and do a YouTube video off the back of doing a gym session, it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't be as effective. The ideas wouldn't be as good, and the knowledge just would ultimately diminish. So that's why I do anything first thing in the morning. You want to be an athlete, you do it first thing in the morning. The second thing we must understand is you think what you need to do to get in shape is not sustainable, so you never start. You think that tracking calories is not sustainable. You think that you need to live a little. You think that one cheat meal is okay. And you think that all the extremes of getting in shape are not sustainable, so you never actually start in the first place. Allow me to break that fallacy. What you need to do to get in shape is not how you keep it long term. The same way, like, if you were training to become a doctor, you're not going to live like you're trained to become a doctor for the rest of your life. You train to become the person, and then what you do to maintain something is different than what you do to actually go and get it. So a lot of you haven't started because you think it's not sustainable. Like, I'll tell you right now, it's not supposed to be. You're trying to go from like really out of condition, and we'll say 20% body fat, that's still like pretty much out of condition. You're trying to go from here to here. Of course it's not going to be sustainable because you want drastic change. And as well, you can have it fairly quickly. Like, I think this was 15 kilos off in 15 weeks. So you can have it fairly quickly, provided you don't live the sustainable approach. Or you can make it drag out for 6 months and it be more sustainable. But like, it's painful either way. So I say getting down to this level, you may as well attack it, do it quickly, do it properly, do it once, then go back to enjoying a normal level of living after. Don't think, I can never, I always have to track my calories, or I can never have a one-off plan meal, so that you never even start in the first place, when that's not the case. Don't think you need to live a little. You can, but I would rather you live like this. For the season of trying to get in shape, you go all in. You don't do this, I need to live a little bit at the weekend and reset your progress. You don't do one cheat meal won't hurt and reset your progress. You don't think tracking calories is unsustainable, so you don't start and you reset your progress. For this period of your life, for this season, for this 15-week time frame, you go all in. You drop the hammer, you go, right, I'm not going to do this, 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 and this. It's not going to be sustainable, but it's going to be done. It's going to be done quickly. Then guess what you do after that? Then you go back to a normal level of living. Then you go back to, you can do something on the weekends. Then you can go back to one off-plan meal. Let's eat real food instead of eating KFC. You don't need to track calories as much because you'll have an understanding of how much things actually weigh because you've done it consistently for 12 to 15 weeks. So live like this. Live in the way that you know it's not sustainable, but it's going to get the result to begin with. Then you're going to live a more balanced life after. If you try and live with balance when you're nowhere near in shape, it just won't work for you. You personally right now, you need extremes and you need this protocol to get you the result because you need to kick your ass into gear. Otherwise, it'll just never happen. The next bad habit you have with food is your dopamine. Now, I say this one is a bit deeper because, well, for whatever reason, you find comfort in food. So there's a deeper issue that goes on there that we must address. It's why do you turn to food for comfort? Why can you not turn to exercise? Why can you not turn to social? Why can you not turn to like your own self-love? Because if we always just be like, don't eat, don't turn to food, that's not really going to work. We need to fix your psychology. We need to improve how you see yourself. Because if you forever see yourself as this guy that just can't get in shape, and that when you feel sad, you eat, and then because you're sad, you're fat, and now you're sad because you're fat, and it's just a vicious cycle. I've had people like that, of course I have. But we don't want it to be that way, and it shouldn't be that way. So we know food is... Ultimately, you're avoiding something else by just eating the food, even though you know the food's going to make you feel worse in the long run, but better in the short term. It's the art of really delaying that gratification. So what I would say is, it's slightly uncomfortable anyway to be in a deficit. It's also slightly uncomfortable to eat and then be fat after it anyway. So like both are pretty painful, right? It's going to be a little bit more painful to address the root cause and the issue you're actually facing. It is going to be more painful. I won't sugarcoat it. You are going to have to go through some mental pain in order to fix this. But you're already going through pain, whichever way you want to play this. Just sticking to a calorie deficit is a little bit painful. Eating and then being more fat and being more sad, there's no pleasure in that. There's a tiny bit at the beginning, but then after that, it's all sadness and it's all discomfort anyway. So whichever way you're going to move, you're going to get pricked by the nettle bush, whichever way you're going to move. I think you would rather, or what you should do, is just run very quickly through the nettle bush, get a few more stings on you, but at least you come out the other side and can find some dock leaves and wipe it off. So I would really encourage you, and this is not going to be nice, it's not going to be pretty, but I would really encourage you to establish, why do you have this? Why is comfort your go-to, and what is it your go-to from? Address why that is the issue. Sit with it, be present with it, and understand that you can beat it. Whatever the issue is, you can beat it. And do you know the way you beat it? You beat it by raising your self-image, by understanding you're not that person. Do you know the way you raise your own self-image? It's through doing things you say you're going to do. It's through doing things of discipline. Because as long as you know at your core, when you say you're going to do something, it's going to get done. It's going to give you a lot of self-assurance. When you say you're going to be disciplined and you do it, it's going to give you a lot of self-assurance. It's going to give you a lot of self-love. The same way, like, if I said to you here, take some heroin, you'd be like, no, I don't do that. Because you value yourself enough not to do the thing. Now we need to have the same level of mindset for, here, don't eat this donut. No, I don't eat donuts. I value myself higher than this cheap sugar, which, it does literally nothing for me because there's no nutrients in it whatsoever. You need to raise your value. The only difference between you and the people at the top is simply how they see themselves and what their value is for themselves. That's literally it. And this also will tie into the fifth habit, so we'll cover this right now. But your self-love needs to be higher for yourself than it is for anybody else on this earth. For the reason being, you can't really love other people if you don't love yourself, because it's what is your love actually worth? If you want to be really there for your people, if you want to help your people, you need to help yourself first, because how you think you're helping them, you're giving a version of you. Let's say this version of you is 54% of your 100% potential. You're giving them really 54% of you, because the other 46 is not tapped into, it's being wasted. So if we flip the script and you focused on developing that 54% up to 73, they're now getting more of you anyway, but you had to focus on yourself first in order to do this. How do you get that percentage up? Discipline, consistency, resilience, doing what you say you're going to do, like saying no to things that you know are bad for you, raising yourself above the things that you think are bad for you. That's how you raise that. Now you've got a better version of yourself. That version of yourself is more knowledgeable, has better advice, can give better love, can be more present, values himself so he can pass that on to people around him. If you want to help other people, you must make sure you're the best person to do it first. The same way, like, if I wanted to help people get in shape, but I didn't know how to get results like this, I'd only be able to help you so far. I wouldn't be able to take you all the way. But because I've focused all in on the knowledge for myself to get to this level, to get results like this, I can take you to this level rather than it being a lower level, because I focused on myself first to bring up my knowledge capacity and, most importantly, the psychology that comes behind getting results like this first. Now I can help to this standard. If I didn't do that, I'd only be able to take you so far if I was trying to help and focus on other people first. You see where I'm going with this now. It's you must look after yourself first so you can help other people. If you want to be the best version for other people, make sure you are the best version of yourself first. So you must focus and love yourself first before you start loving other people. Because in the other way, you'll go and eat the dinner out that you didn't want to do to please those people. But because you're going there resenting it anyway and you don't feel that good about it and it's going to make you look worse, you're not going to be the best person to be around there anyway. Your energy is going to be lower. Your vibration is going to be lower. You're not going to be the greater person to be around because you're half resenting the thing anyway. So, like, you can try and always put others first. You'll just end up resenting it. You'll just end up, like, getting mentally burnt out. You've only got so much of a muscle where you can help people freely without you being, like, too tired. And then you will still do it, but you won't do it with the same zest, with the same confidence, with the same, like, happiness to do so. So they're not getting the best thing for you anyway. So it makes sense. Look after yourself first. Treat your body they say treat your body like a temple. Like, take that and run with it, literally. The last thing we'll touch on after we tied the last two habits together is your best days are behind you. So for anyone that's a little bit older, you'll think, is there any much point in me getting in shape now? Because, I'm older anyway. Maybe I've reached my potential. So is this really worth it? The analogy I always give for this is, let's say you get in bed, and 20 minutes later you need a piss. You have two options. You either try to sleep. You probably will fall asleep. More than likely, because you're a bit older anyway, you'll wake up a few hours later, bursting for a piss. You'll have to get up and go. And falling asleep will be a little bit uncomfortable because you do need a piss. The same way, if you are out of shape now, but you are 45, 55, 65, you may live another 20 years, 30, 40 years, all right? So you can decide to either be like, you know what, I've only got another 20 years left in my life, so what I'm going to do is nothing, and I'm just going to sit in this uncomfortable body that makes me feel like shit every day, and I'm not really proud of it, and I know it's pretty much going to break down anyway, so, like, I've only got 20 years, but I've lived 40, so there's not much point, doing it. When I say like that, it's that you're like, yeah, obviously, get out of bed, go for a piss, get back in bed, have a good 8 hours sleep. Get in shape at 40, 50, 55, 60, and enjoy the rest of your life in true happiness. Because, as well, it only takes pretty much, even in the absolute worst case scenarios, it might take you a year to get in shape. Like, a lot of these, have we got anyone that was drastically, yeah, like that. This one, we actually just broke down into phases. So it didn't take a year, maybe about 6 months, but we broke it down into phases. This one was about 20 odd weeks. Again, about 20 kilos off. This one was superhuman. This was like 16 weeks. So yeah, some of them are a bit quicker. But the point I'm making is, like, it might take you a year in the absolute worst case scenario, but you can have another 19 at least, like, living in a happier body. So if you ever think it's too late, it's not too late. Unless you just want to sit there needing a piss for the rest of your life, is the analogy I give you, it's not too late. And you know it's not too late. That's just a cope for you to not do the work. So go and do the work. So hopefully by now we've broken a lot of these limiting beliefs, that we understand that if we're going to do it, we need to do it when we're fresh, because there's resistance to do it, to get it done when your mental bandwidth for the resistance is at the highest. We understand that it's not supposed to be sustainable, because we're only doing it for a short period of time anyway. Once we get there, we can enjoy it. We're going to cut out any of the modern day one cheat meal won't hurt, you need to live a little, because again, most of these people telling you this do not look how you want to look, so don't take advice from them. Unfortunately, you're going to have to do some deep internal work and work out why food is your go-to for dopamine and fix that root cause, because you will be able to, you will be able to have more self-love for yourself rather than other people, and that way you can be the best version of yourself to help those. And we understand that it is never too late to get in shape. So thank you for watching. If you found this video of value, great. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to come and join us and get results like this, there'll be a link in the description, and I'll see you on the inside. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.